What's good YouTube? Today I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be breaking down every single 1v1 between FlightReacts and CashNasty. Over the course of 9 years, they've played a total of 12 times. These videos have accumulated millions of views, and it's only right to actually analyze them. I'll be going over each game individually, and at the end I'll provide their stats and shot chart. This took a while to put together, so without further ado, let's get into it. Their first matchup came on September 8th, 2016. This is the same day where Flight somehow lost to LNU while also getting his ankles broken by Cash. With that in mind, this 1v1 wasn't really close. Flight only managed to score 4 points and every make felt like a buzzer beater. Not only that, but in the middle of the game, this happened.
What the fuck? This guy right here, way out of bounds, nigga. So you tell me I catch your 3 right here? Bro, it's like right here.
Just a minute later, Flight broke the rule himself, so they ended up getting rid of it. Still, this didn't make much of a difference. Cash was hitting all types of jumpers and Flight just couldn't guard him. Here, Cash shot 9 for 18 from the field and 3 for 10 from 3. On the other end, Flight struggled immensely as he shot 2 for 16 from the field and 1 for 8 from 3. The final score ended up being 12-3 Cash, with this being the start of an iconic series. Their next matchup came on September 2nd, 2017. This took place during a 2K event and the result was just about the same. Once again, Flight only scored 3 points while Cash scored 13. Flight's shot was so bad that he even hit the ceiling in one of his threes. Nothing too special happened in this one as Cash won by 10. In terms of efficiency, Cash shot 9 for 20 from the field and 4 for 10 from 3, while Flight shot 2 for 14 from the field and 1 for 7 from 3, pretty similar numbers to the first game. Now, the next matchup occurred on October 26, 2018. This was the game where Cash played with one hand tied behind his back. This was all part of a bet since Flight thought he was better than Cash for scoring against Bone Collector.
Cash, you suck! You suck! I swear you didn't, bitch! Flight. On sight next time, bro. We playing 1v1. I'ma have one hand tied behind my back.
Shortly after, Flight reacted to this clip and had the ultimate confidence that he will win.
I'ma have one hand tied behind my back.
Bro, that's 11-0. That's gonna be my first shutout game. You play me with one hand, that'll be the worst mistake of your life. How are you even gonna score or get a rebound?
Sadly, those words right there didn't age well. At first, things looked good for Flight, but it went downhill from there. Cash utilized his body and muscled Flight in the paint despite only having one hand. Then after Cash scored his second point, this happened.
Come on, Flight.
It's the last one.
We got 2.
What you say?
He said, shut the fuck up.
Who the hell's that? Who that? Who that?
People who fucking live here.
Shut your ass up, bro.
Fucking screaming.
Shut your ass up.
Shut your fucking ass up.
Boy, you shut
Come
your
up
ass
here.
up, boy.
What up?
I'm not gonna lie, Flight stood on business right here and nothing escalated. Still, he only scored 1 more point, shooting 14% from the field and 0% from 3. Meanwhile, Cash shot 31% from the field and won the game on a jumper. The final score was 5-2 and Flight promised to never say trash nasty ever again.
I will no longer be. I'm banned from calling Cash and using trash in the same sentence. That name is to be removed in all of my sentences. Anytime I say it, automatic dislike in any video. And that's final.
Following that, their next matchup came on August 5th, 2019. This took place in Venice Beach and there was a lot of controversy. The game was neck to neck, but they lost track of the score. This happened during a critical possession, so they agreed on next point wins. That's when Flight almost made history.
Let's get
That's about as unlucky as it gets, and Cash finished the game with a layup. However, Flight thought Cash cheated.
I thought the game was the 7. I thought the game was the 7. He cheated, bro. Rematch. What the hell? That game was a 7, bro.
It also didn't help that the wind made Flight's airballs look even worse. Cash was playing really physical defense and it was just an entertaining game all around. Ultimately, Flight shot 4 for 16 from the field and 2 for 7 from 3. Cash shot 6 for 18 from the field and only attempted 2 threes. Up next, we got their matchup on June 30th, 2020. This was a highly anticipated matchup since it was the finale of June Flight. Also, there was a lot on the line. If Flight won, Cash would have to shave his beard, but if Cash won, Flight would have to burn his kicks. The stakes were high and once again, it was a controversial game. There were a couple of questionable calls and Flight made up this rule that 4 fouls equals disqualification. Still, Cash had another dominant performance. He won 15-4 and shot 43% from the field and 38% from 3. Meanwhile, this was probably the second worst June Flight game this year. He shot 12% from the field and 22% from 3. At the end, Flight had to burn his shoes, which he had worn for a lot of 1v1s. Now their next matchup occurred on August 6, 2021. Nothing crazy really happened in this one and it was straight to the point. However, there were a couple of funny moments. For example, Flight said Cash stepped out of bounds on this play even though the replay says otherwise. Then a few plays later, Cash tried to finesse Flight with a travel.
What you mean?
Dribble right there, bro.
What you mean?
He dribble.
Bro, no, that
Chris.
Bro,
Did he
what?
not dribble right there?
Still, Cash won pretty convincingly. The final score was 12-4, but there were a lot of bricks in this one. Flight shot 3 of 27 from the field and only made 1 3 out of 15 attempts. Meanwhile, Cash shot 8 of 24 from the field and 4 for 15 from 3. Still, Cash got the job done and he was now up 7-0 in the series. Their next game came on June 30th, 2022. For this matchup, Cash decided to hire a referee, so there wasn't any excuses. It was Flight who hacked more throughout this game. Also, Flight couldn't get any offense going and shot 6% from the field. Cash shot 50% from 3 and even had Flight on the ground. Also, after scoring his 11th point, this happened. Ultimately, they played to 15, but it didn't change the outcome. Cash won 16-1. Moving on, their ninth matchup came on April 5th, 2023. This time, Cash was so confident he will win that he put $10,000 on the line. You would think Flight will perform better, but that wasn't the case. In fact, this was his worst game statistically against Cash. He shot 1 for 17 from the field and 0 of 10 from 3. Also, he made a really questionable call on this drive.
Hell no! You can't call time off the ball in possession.
Bro, I literally could have called foul, bro. It was a flagrant foul.
Bro, I didn't touch it. I made sure not to touch.
He's an idiot.
I've been in the gym lately, bro. I'm not getting pushed. I can't get pushed around anymore.
Bro, you stubborn, bro. You don't believe yourself.
Regardless, Cash was playing around with his foot all game and shot 38% from the field and 38% from 3. He got another blowout victory as the final score was 11-1. Now their 10th matchup was the best one yet. It took place on June 29th, 2023. This was another June finale and Flight didn't disappoint. At first, Cash was heating up and took a 5-2 lead. However, Flight responded really well and even found himself up at halftime. All momentum was shifting towards Flight, but Cash got away with a few calls. First, he took 3 steps on this layup right here and also fouled Flight in his last possession. However, the game kept going, so Cash won 11-10. Definitely the closest game between these two and one that Flight should have won. In fact, this was his best game statistically against Cash. Here, he shot 7 for 18 from the field and 3 for 7 from 3. On the other hand, Cash shot 43% from the field and 14% from 3. Flight was this close to winning but just couldn't capitalize. Now, after a few reactions, they settled for an immediate rematch on July 21st, 2023. This was another back and forth game and Flight actually played pretty good defense. However, Cash executed when it mattered the most. He finished the game with 3 straight top of the key threes and Flight crashed out.
What? Like, what?
It's crazy because Flight had a 6-5 lead and it all slipped away. In this game, Flight shot 22% from the field and 29% from 3. Cash on the other hand shot 36% from the field and 43% from 3. The final score was 11-6 in favor of Cash. Now their second to last matchup took place on June 30th, 2024. To start, Flight couldn't buy a basket and missed his first 15 shots. Also, he had a scary moment on this drive.
Hey guys, this point right here was probably the most critical point of my basketball career. The ledge was there. It was good defense. I kind of went flying. Could have been a 50-50 foul when going up for the layup, but I was trying to go for the rebound and I just lost my footing. And yo, I hit the side of my left middle eye and it just scraped a little bit.
Thankfully, Flight was good to go, but Cash still maintained a 6-0 lead at halftime. It wasn't until the second half when Flight started to perform. He started driving way more to the basket and even hit a 3 to cut the lead to 2. However, just like in the other games, Flight rushed his last play and missed badly. This resulted in a game winner by Cash. The final score was 13-9. After the game, Flight said this.
Last game, Cash. Hey, bro. I'm doing something historical right now. Bro, Cash. This is the best form you've ever been in. 2024 Cash is better at ball. Appreciate it, dog.
With that in mind, Cash was up 11-0 in the series. In this game, he shot 9 of 25 from the field and 4 of 16 from 3. Flight meanwhile shot 8 of 29 from the field and 1 of 6 from 3. Another heartbreaking loss by Flight. Up until this point, their last 1v1 came on June 30th, 2025. This was supposed to be the year for Flight, the year to finally beat Cash. As Flight said, he made about 14 warm-up threes before the game. He was locked in while Cash was taking it light. He had barely trained this month and replaced his basketball training with some dud pack sessions. As a result, he looked really rusty and shot 7 of 28 against Flight. His form didn't even look that bad, but he clearly didn't prepare for this game. Flight actually started with a 3-0 lead, but once again, he couldn't finish the game. He couldn't hit one single 3 and shot 7 of 25 from the field. Therefore, Cash won 11-7. As of today, their 1v1 record is 12-0 in favor of CashNasty. Hopefully Flight can get on the board at some point because this is getting ridiculous. Anyways, let's get into their individual stats against each other. In the 12 games that I researched, Flight attempted a total of 227 shots from the field and made 43 of them, which results in a 19 total field goal percentage. From 3, Flight attempted 95 shots and only made 13 of them, which results in a 14 3-point field goal percentage. On the other hand, Cash attempted a total of 252 shots from the field and made 95 of them, which results in a 38 total field goal percentage. From 3, Cash attempted 132 shots and made 41 of them, which results in a 31 3-point field goal percentage. Now let's take a look at Flight and CashNasty's shot charts. This right here took a while to put together, so let's break it down. As you see, Flight was somewhat efficient in the painted area. That's where most of his greens are at, even though the right block doesn't look too good. Also, Flight took a lot of 3-point shots in the right side, but wasn't consistent at all. That explains his 14% from 3. And lastly, Flight was awful in the mid-range area. In fact, he went 0 of 14 in this left side. On the other hand, CashNasty's shot chart doesn't look too bad. As expected, his most efficient spot was around the paint. That's where he used his muscle to his advantage. Also, Cash shot a lot of top of the key 3-pointers. He made a decent amount of those shots. And lastly, Cash doesn't like going right at all. He barely attempted any shots, which has been a common trend. However, it's clear that Cash knows his strengths and weaknesses, and that pretty much much concludes this video. Now we know how both Flight and Cash did against each other. Throughout these 9 years, Flight averaged 5 points per game while shooting 19% from the field and 14% from 3. Meanwhile, Cash averaged 11 points per game and shot 38% from the field and 31% from 3. Shout out to Flight and Cash for keeping this tradition alive. Definitely one of the most entertaining videos on YouTube. But what do you guys think? Do you think Cash will stay undefeated against Flight? When do you see Flight finally beating Cash? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I hope everyone has a great day. Peace out.